back, baby.
Offense, you know what to do.
It's football time in Tennessee.
Give me Tennessee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 1796 Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Normal Vol fan, joined alongside Ryan, and we're going to talk some Tennessee basketball, some Lady Vols basketball, and some baseball. And we might even cover some NCAA news that we're a little behind on. But I want to get started with this Tennessee onslaught against the A&M Aggies. At home, raucous crowd. What a game. What a game. Started off a little slow, but, I mean, second half, it was all Tennessee. But, Ryan, what'd you think about it?
Well, the biggest thing to me is that the two things that hurt us at A&M, we completely flipped the script on. The first thing that hurt us at Texas A&M was Wade Taylor and Tyrese Radford. We let them do whatever they want, and they combined for 52 points in College Station. And then we held them to 22 points combined on Saturday night. And then the second thing is we did not let Anderson Garcia grab seemingly every single offensive rebound like we allowed him to do in College Station, is because he had 17 in the first game and he had 8 total rebounds last night. So those are the two big things to me that we prevented them from doing. But as far as what we did, Zakai Zeigler looked like John Stockton. Dalton Knecht looked like Dalton Knecht. Simple as that. And Jonas Aidoo had another terrific game with 18 points, 14 rebounds, a few blocks. I mean, I think it was a great team effort, and they obviously wanted it real bad.
Yeah, you could tell. I mean, everyone from the fans, the players, the coach, I mean, everyone wanted that game. I'll be the first to say, first half, I was really getting frustrated because it just seemed like it was just going to be a repeat and we couldn't score. It was rough. But, you know, I feel like the turning point of that game was when Vescovi hit that corner three and, you know, going into halftime.
Mm-hmm.
And Tennessee came out in the second half and absolutely just destroyed Texas A&M. I mean, from the get-go, I mean, you had Wade Taylor. I mean, first, 3 shots he hit, and then after that, he didn't hit a shot after that. So that was huge. But overall, I mean, the game was great. The atmosphere was awesome. We're going to need that for when Auburn comes to town. But, yeah, Tennessee looked like a Final Four team that game. They were complete. Defense, offense, the motivation was there. You know, I don't know what else to say, but it was definitely a Final Four performance, even against a, you know, bad team.
Yeah, and I want to touch on this real quick. It was, you know, start of SEC play. Every time we would, you know, record a podcast, we would always bring up Santiago Vescovi and Josiah Jordan James, and I'm pretty sure we all agreed back then that if they're getting, you know, 6 to 10 points apiece, we would take that. And last night, Vescovi got 6, Josiah Jordan James got 8, and we beat a conference opponent by 35 points. I mean, I think, you know, they definitely are capable of being our leading scorer. They haven't done it often this year. I think Vescovi's done it once and Josiah's done it maybe 2 times. But as long as they're putting something other than a complete 0 on the scoreboard and they're playing, you know, they're always great at defense. I don't think any of the complaints from the fan base are about their defense or effort or anything like that. It's just about on the scoring end. But yeah, if they're combining for 15 to 20 points, I think that's a pretty good spot to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the defense has been, you know, a little, it hasn't been bad, but it's definitely been a little bit worse. It's not the last year's defense where we're holding teams to 60 or less every single game. But when you're scoring 80, 85 plus points, I mean, you can give up that 70, like, and it's not going to hurt you. But, but I agree. I think all around this team, and I seen it on Twitter today, and a bunch of people saying it, that this is probably the best chance Rick Barnes is going to have at getting a national title.
Yeah. Yeah. And shout out to Rick for getting his 800th win. I mean, that's huge. I think it's 15 other coaches have done that in D1 history. So he's in an exclusive club now. And the only thing he's missing really is climbing the mountaintop and being the national champion as far as his resume goes. But yeah, I totally agree. This is his best chance. And, I don't have a crystal ball. You don't know if it will be his best chance from then on. I think people were saying the same kind of stuff when we had Admiral and Grant Williams. And then you flash forward 5 years, and now we're saying the same thing again. So you never know, but this seems like the year that I definitely agree. This is his best chance, and I really hope they can climb that mountaintop.
Yeah, and we've said it before. I mean, this team has everything you need to win or make a run at least to get there. And to me, though, when it comes to March Madness, it all depends on what your bracket looks like. I mean, some teams just get the harder bracket, and but Tennessee, I mean, if you get that, they have a chance. In my opinion, I don't know about you, but if they win 3 out of 4 to end the season, I feel like they are going to be a 1 seed. They
absolutely should be. You're playing 4 ranked teams to finish the year, and you're playing 2 of them on the road. I don't see why we shouldn't be. I mean, you might say that if you lose in the first round of the SEC tournament, even if you do go 3-1 in these last 4, they might knock you back down 2-2. But the committee, they're kind of wishy-washy on if the conference tournaments even really matter or not. So,
which they shouldn't, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, I think I went over it a few episodes ago where, an entire conference schedule and the non-conference before that means a lot more to me than 3 or 4 days at the end of the year. So yeah, I don't think it should factor in too much unless you're on the bubble and happen to beat like for example, if Missouri were to beat, if Mississippi State or A&M were to beat, let's just say Kentucky, Alabama, and then us to play in the championship game, that would probably get them into the tournament. But if you're not on the bubble, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't see Tennessee, like, let's say we get first place. I don't see Tennessee losing that first game. But, like, if you get to the point where you're in the semis and you lose, it's whatever. Just get ready for March. But, I mean, realistically, though, with these 4 games coming up, what are your expectations? I honestly, the way I've been seeing Auburn play these past couple games, I'm not sleeping on Auburn. Auburn's a very good basketball team. But being at home, it's going to be the same type of crowd it was against A&M. I think we sneak this one out. I'm not as worried about Auburn than I am Bama, going on the road to play Bama. But what are your expectations for these 4 games? What do you think is going to transpire?
I think 3-1 is probably the most likely, and this is just me banking on Tennessee winning at home and then getting that revenge game against South Carolina. I totally agree with you. Alabama is probably the tallest task in these last 4 games, but I think the other 3 are very, very winnable. So
especially the 2 home games.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 3-1 for right now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not against that. I feel like I'm going to go with 2-2. And the reason I say this, I think what's going to happen is we beat Auburn and we beat South Carolina. Now, the Kentucky game, I don't know what it is. They've been playing better. I get we're home, but I don't know why, but it feels like a trap game to me. And, last game of the season, they're going to, I feel like the boys will be thinking ahead and, we beat them last time, all this stuff. And Kentucky has nothing to lose at this point. I mean, they want to win, and especially it being a revenge game for them. But my heart says 3-1, but I'm gonna stick with the 2-2. And I don't know. You can mix and match it. I mean, you got 4 great teams we're going against, and realistically, the boys could go 4-0. I mean, it's possible. Yeah. And if they go 4-0, they're 100% a 1 seed. It don't matter. Like, if you win all 4 of those games, if they don't put you as a 1 seed, there's a problem.
Oh, if they don't put you as a 1 seed, then I don't even know why we play these games, because Auburn sits 1 spot ahead of us in Ken Palm, ranked 5th. We're 6th. Alabama is 7th at Ken Palm. So you got 3 SEC teams right there, top 10 in Ken Palm, and then Kentucky's 18th in Ken Palm. Like, even if you were to win those 3 and lose to South Carolina, you should be a 1 seed. And it's like I said, if those don't matter, then why even play the games if they're not going to put you on the 1 line after doing all that? So I totally agree.
Yeah, but I mean, it's gonna be an interesting 4 games. I mean, realistically, obviously we'd love to win all 4, but I mean, the way college basketball has gone this year, we're gonna have that game where you're just not the same, and it's gonna be that 50-50 game where it's like it comes down to the wire, and whoever pulls it out. So, but we'll see. I mean, when it comes to basketball, you have anything on the men's side you want to talk about?
We've already touched on it a little bit, but I don't like watching that Alabama and Kentucky game. Like, I wasn't really surprised because I always knew Kentucky was capable of that, but they shot 60% from the field or better, and Alabama just had no interest in playing defense. I mean, that just blew my mind that Alabama, firstly, that Kentucky, scored 100 points with 8 minutes left in the game, and that Alabama just had no interest at all. Yeah, they threw in the towel.
Well, here's my thing about Alabama. We did it against someone. We beat them by 20. Like, if you take away that 3-point line, they have almost no answer. And because, I mean, they're a great 3-point shooting team. I mean, and now I'm not a big fan of Mark Sears, but I mean, he's a good basketball player. But I mean, we're lucky to have Zakai Zeigler to guard him, because Zakai is all over him all game. And, like I said on the last podcast, he scored 20 points, whoop-de-doo, but that was when Zakai was on the bench. And before he went on the bench, Sears had 8 points, and most of his points were from free throws. So, Alabama's beatable, and Rick Barnes definitely has their number. But, we'll be on the road. You know how the refs be on, to the road team. But it's going to be interesting. Like I said, I think we're going to sneak one of those road games, and we'll win hopefully 2 of the, both home games, but we'll see.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to touch on the Tennessee side was how painfully close Zakai Zeigler was to a triple-double.
Oh, my God, I know.
Yeah, I think if Rick Barnes had known his stat line, he would have kept him in the game for those last 2 or 3 minutes.
I wanted him to hit 20 assists, dude. I don't even care about the triple-double. I would have loved for him to hit 20-plus assists.
Dude, he added four steals to that box score as well. I mean, he played like an All-American. I mean, he's really coming into form when you need your point guard to be coming into form. So,
and realistically, he could come back next year.
Oh yeah, he's a junior, and I think he will come back just because of his size.
I think especially if you don't win a natty, he's for sure coming back. And I would not be surprised if Aidoo didn't come back.
Aidoo is an interesting one to me because, I mean, his first 2 years he was just an average big, but now he's showing the flashes. But think about Zach Edey though. Zach Edey could have easily went last year, and I mean, I don't know. To me, if I'm him, I'm thinking, you know what? If I play one more year, I could really bump my draft stock up, and
that'd be huge for this team to have them both come back. Obviously, you lose Knecht, you lose Triple J, you lose Vescovy. But, I mean, those two would be gigantic to have back for next year. But we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting. You're exactly right. I mean, it's very interesting with his situation because, for sure, I think a team would definitely snag him up. I mean, the dude could shoot the three when he needs to. He could spread the floor. He could get his rebounds. You know, he could finish with his right and left hand, and he could block almost anybody. So, but you're right. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think a year, another year of him showing that he can even more consistently be that dominant big man would do him well as far as his draft stock. So
that's a perfect way to explain it. I mean,
yeah.
He's been inconsistent this year. There's games where he was non-existent, and you know, it'd be nice for him to be. And I'm not saying anything about it. I mean, he's been great, but you know, he could definitely use one more year to just show, hey, I could have 10 and 10 or 15 and 10 every game. And just boost your draft stock. But yeah.
Oh, one last thing about the A&M game, that uber gigantic lineup of Tobey and Jonas in the game at the same time with Knecht made another appearance. The one that we used to close out Missouri. And Awaka had 12 points on 5 of 6 shooting. So I think that really benefits Awaka when he's out there with another big man. And he's
not having to do it all.
Yeah, and he's not going up against the center. He's going up against the power forward.
Yeah, and he bullies them. He bullies them.
It helps him a ton. So I'm really glad to see Awaka making a bigger dent on the scoring sheet in these last 2 games.
Absolutely. So. Now let's take a deep dive into the Lady Vols today. Again, I mean, they're playing number 13 LSU, and they played them tough first 3 quarters, and then fourth quarter comes around and they just shit the bed. I mean, there's no way, no other way to put it. I mean, they did that against South Carolina. They did that today against LSU. So it's, I don't know what else to say, but I feel like this was the last straw. And I know you're going to bring up what, Kellie had to say, but I feel like I think that was her last straw. You let her finish the season, and we said it before, unless you win like the national championship, you're done. And it's got to be done.
Yeah. I'm going to tell everybody what she said here. She was asked, Kellie Harper was asked this question on where she thinks the Lady Vols stand as far as the NCAA tournament. And she went on to say, to me, if you watch the games, we passed the eye test. I think we really play well at times. I think that has to be part of what folks are looking at. If you play well at times, but you play like shit, for even a quarter, you're going to lose to the best teams, like we've seen in our last marquee matchups at home. It doesn't matter if you play well at times. Like that, Pat Summitt had to roll over in her grave when she heard that Kellie Harper said that. That doesn't matter. What matters is a win or loss. Doesn't matter how well you played. I mean, that just blew my mind.
Yeah, and it blew a lot of people's minds. To me, it's just it's something you don't say. I mean, ignore the question at least. Like, just move on about your day. You don't say stuff like that, and not expect backlash, because that's exactly what you got on social media. Was everyone just telling it's time to be done? And I agree. It's time to hang it up. And I expect Danny White, to handle business. I mean, he's on social media and he sees all that. So I think it's about that time, and we've beat the bucket on this multiple times, but there's plenty of coaching talent that Tennessee could go out and get, no problem. So, but I say it seems to be a fan favorite of Molly Miller, and I mean, she's gotten Grand Canyon to 23 plus wins already on the season, and that's a school record. And that's not. I mean, the season's not over. They're probably going to hit 25, and it's just you got to go get someone like that has the motivation to go, above and beyond for a program like Tennessee.
Yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, her comment just again is dumbfounding. And today, if you were able to beat LSU today, you all but guarantee a spot in the tournament. But now, you have 2 games left. You got Texas A&M at home and then South Carolina on the road. You're looking at 1-1 at best.
Possibly because A&M beat us last time.
Yeah, I mean, a team you lost to on the road now coming into Knoxville. So 1-1 at best because you're going to get blitzkrieged by South Carolina in Columbia, and then you have to roll your dice in the SEC tournament, and hopefully you can do enough to make it in there. I mean, the Lady Vols have never missed a tournament, and to even be on the bubble right now just shows you all you need to know. Simple as that.
I agree. I mean, to me, you lose these 2 games, I feel like it's just you might be like you would have to pray to God that you make the tournament.
If you lose these 2 games, you're 16-12 and 9-7 in the SEC.
I feel like A&M's a must win.
Yeah, it's got to be.
And they're probably what 11 seed, 12 seed.
Yeah. You're still going to have a really tough road to even make the Sweet 16, even if you make it, which wouldn't do anything for me anyway. So yeah, it's positive and negative at the same time. You can take your choice of the outlook, but I think it's time for the Lady Vols to get serious again. But it's sad. It's sunk to where you have a coach saying we play well at times. It's like, okay, cool.
That's not you think South Carolina plays well at times?
Yeah, you're supposed to play well at all times and win the
exactly
game.
Right. Because, dude, you played 2 of the best teams in the country through 3 quarters and then just forgot how to play basketball in the 4th. And that's not the only coincidence. It's happened multiple times this season where they don't even show up to the game and they get obliterated.
Mm-hmm.
Against worse teams than the 2 teams that I'm talking about.
Yeah. Alabama, A&M, you can keep on going. I mean, all the games in the non-conference, MTSU, Indiana, like Ohio State, on and on and on, where we probably have played well at times, Kelly, but that doesn't matter if you ended up losing the damn game. I just cannot say that enough. It makes me so mad. Like, whatever. I'm sick of talking about it.
Yeah, we could be done with it. I mean, I feel like it's just a matter of time where we see that tweet of that they let her go, and it's just like I said, matter of time. It's gonna come. But we could talk about better news. I mean, we could talk about the Tennessee baseball team having an excellent weekend. I think they scored like 42 runs in 3 games, and that's absolutely ridiculous. Led by, Kavaris Tears, whatever you want to call him. I mean, he's going to just spank the ball around. Hey, Dalton Bargo had a day. Had actually 2 days in a row. I mean, Saturday and Sunday, he was just, smacking the ball everywhere. Absolutely another great bat to have. Villeneuve is a must-have in the lineup. I mean, that kid... I mean, the fact that you have him and Billy Amick and Christian Moore in the same lineup is ridiculous. I mean, this lineup is it's a disaster for a pitcher. I mean, I was a pretty good pitcher in high school, and that's a lineup, 1 through 9, you're just going like, oh God, who am I facing next? I mean, all around, it's just nasty. And I don't know, I don't know if I heard the announcer right, but what happened to AJ Russell?
He left the game with some soreness on Friday night. Didn't really specify where the soreness was. At least nothing that I read specified that. But Tony gave an update on that. He said he expects him to be all right. He doesn't expect it to be a long-term thing, but if you're in February, you might as well just play it safe and maybe start someone else on Friday night and just
He'd come in relief and get some innings, but I wouldn't be pitching him 5 innings plus. But we got the talent. I mean, the pitching's been there, the defense has been there, and this team, man, it could be scary if you could get that solidified Sunday starter. Which Sechrist looked really good today. I know they were just getting him and getting people some innings today, but I mean, I got the scorebook right here, and I mean, he only threw 24 pitches and allowed 1 hit, which is fantastic. But then you had Snead and Kirby and Binky. I love that guy's name, Binky, that lefty man. He has such a weird arm slot, but I mean, absolutely just filthy. And then Schaefer did well. So, I mean, dude, you got great pitchers coming out of the bullpen, but you just got to figure out that Sunday starter, man. It's Sechrist definitely looked a lot more comfortable in this game. So, but yeah, Albany is not a great team, but look at the teams around us. Vanderbilt lost to Gonzaga today. I mean, you got teams like Vanderbilt, you got teams like Ole Miss, Mississippi State losing games to teams.
LSU
lost to my alma mater, and it's just, and don't forget, I mean, Stony Brook did go to Omaha a couple years back. So, I mean, but still, you got teams losing, and they're not, there's teams that are going to just get beat. But Tennessee being 7-1, I expect Tennessee to get the conference play 14-1.
Yeah,
and that'd be huge. I feel like Tennessee's they got the better lineup than last year. The team this year is definitely a better lineup. Now, if we could have Dolander back just for this year, that'd be nice. And Dickey, that'd be cool too. But yeah, this team's, I feel like, got the potential to go to Omaha no problem. I mean, it's just you can't slip up.
Yeah. The biggest thing to me about the weekend is, Albany scored 5 runs Friday night, 6 runs on Saturday afternoon. So the pitching was, it's not like it was terrible in those 2 games, but I think the pitching really, obviously had a nice day today whenever you hold them to 0 runs. So that was encouraging to see, a nice bounce back from the pitching staff. And then, everybody, people are hitting well that you don't expect to hit well. And Villeneuve, Bargo, Dean Curley, Colby Backus, all these names. And then these players that you thought you'd be relying on still haven't hit their stride yet, like Hunter Inslee, Cannon Peebles, Billy Amick's still under 300, even though he leads the team in total bases. But
well, he also smoked the ball 3 times today.
Yeah.
And they were just all right through somebody. But
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I think Peebles, he's batting 167 right now, but I'm not worried about it as long as, because this lineup is so deep. He's gonna find his stride. So
well, he also, he does have 5 RBIs too. So it's, it's beginning of the season. I'm not worried about Peebles. He's a good catcher. He plays good behind the plate, and he is, he's patient at the plate too. He had a couple walks today, and we had a bunch of walks, but it was just all around good performance this weekend. I'm happy all around. Like you said, the pitching could have been better, but Albany's a team that people are gonna get hits off of Beam. He's that type of pitcher though. He's not the strikeout guy. He's gonna let you hit the ball in play and just get you out. But teams are gonna be able to hit him, and there's gonna be games where he's lights out. But I think Beam's going to be our main guy. I know Russell's on Friday, but Saturday to me is the most important game of the series, because let's say you lose on Friday, that's the series winner right there. So Beam's right smack in the middle to either win the series or save the series.
Yes. Yeah. Beam is just a stalwart. And it's like you said, when you're a pitch to contact kind of guy, you may give up a run or two every couple starts. So it's not like, I think he started yesterday and we were down 1-0. We ended up winning 21-6. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like Beam gives you 5 to 6 and sometimes even 7 good innings of, I cannot remember a time where he's given up more than 5 runs. Like, and that's fine when you have a lineup like this. So it's just a nice guy to have, right, a good leader among the weekend starters. And I think Russell will definitely be the Friday night guy. But that Sunday spot, I think, is very much up in the air, and you have plenty of good candidates. So,
Yeah, I mean, I really like Nate Snead. I mean, he throws hard. He does. He reminds me of Chase Burns, because I mean, he throws 98 to 100, and he's got a nasty slider, man. Like, does he have the capability to throw 5-6 innings? And I think we've seen it. I mean, I think he does. It's just, can he be consistent with it? But like you said, it's up for grabs. I think that's why Tony's throwing 5 pitchers on any given day before SEC play starts.
yeah, it's very much a let's see what we got time of the year right now. And we're talking all this about the lineup, about how it's doing so well right now. Names are stepping up. Names who are going to step up, are still lining the weeds a little bit, but we still haven't seen Antigua yet, who was supposed to be our starting shortstop, and he's a freshman. And there's probably a reason he's supposed to be our freshman, our starting shortstop.
Well, he's
as
hurt.
a freshman.
He's hurt.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. When he gets back, like, who knows?
It depends when he gets back and how Curly's doing, because in my opinion, you'll get Antigua's gonna get his opportunity, but Curly's been pretty much lights out. I mean, dude's hitting the ball, playing great defense. Hope he's okay today. I mean, he got beamed in the head by an 88-mile-an-hour fastball. I've been hit by a pitch pretty much at that speed. It sucks, but I think he'll be all right. But I agree. I think Antigua's going to get his opportunity. I mean, and Tony's shown that he's letting a lot of people play right now, and it's great. I mean, guys coming off the bench, and we still have opportunities. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, this team is just so combustible on offense. I mean, we've had so many big innings this year, and then if you add another guy who can smack the ball around, I mean, sky's the limit offensively, and the pitching's always good. So baseball it's in a great spot, man. I couldn't be more excited for SEC play and beyond.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think this it's got the capabilities to go far, and we'll see. It could be a really good year for Tennessee sports if basketball could do its thing and baseball does its thing, and then you get the football season with Nico, and it's just it's going to be a fun year for Tennessee sports, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Now you wanted to talk go ahead, sorry I cut you off.
Nah, you were staring it.
I was just saying, you wanted to talk about the NCAA because we haven't really gotten to talk about the update on what happened, but I'll let you start that and cover that.
Yeah, so Tennessee was granted the preliminary injunction, which froze the NCAA's archaic NIL rules, vague NIL rules, whatever you want to call them, the stupid ass rules. That's what I'm going to call them. They are now irrelevant until anything goes to trial, which could be months and months and months. So Tennessee officially won that piece of this pointless thing that the NCAA brought upon themselves, and I don't feel bad for them. I mean, they didn't have to, try to nab us again for stuff that is a ridiculous thing to nab somebody for, retroactively trying to enforce rules. But they did it, and now they find themselves in a spot where they're probably just going to give up now. I mean,
They have to, dude, because I feel like a bunch of other schools are going to come after them too.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't those schools do the same thing now? I mean,
yeah, they can't take. What are they going to do? Take them to court and lose?
Yeah, I mean, the other states would do the exact same thing now because they know the NCAA has nothing to stand on as far as these NIL rules. And, the NCAA could also, downgrade whatever they're looking into us for and then try to get us on stuff that has nothing to do with NIL. But I think that would be silly too. Or the NCAA could hold out for a trial, which this injunction would still be in place until that case concludes. And, they're probably not going to do that either. I mean, the judge in the case who granted the injunction said the NCAA would likely lose if it goes to a full trial because it violates the antitrust laws, harms student athletes, on and on and on. Like, it's just the NCAA did this to themselves. And Tennessee has laid the blueprint for any other school that the NCAA tries to come after now. So the entire country has Tennessee's attorney general to thank, and Virginia's attorney general too. I want to make sure we recognize them. So
absolutely, and like I said, I mean, overall, this so far, 2024 has been a great year for Tennessee athletics. I mean, it's just, where are we going to go? How are we going to finish? Type thing. But yeah, I think this is huge. And we talked about it before on the last podcast. I mean, this has been a benefit to recruiting. I mean, you see all these recruits are seeing that, the state of Tennessee is got this university's back and has got the student athletes back when it comes to, the student athletes. So that's huge. I think you're going to see a great recruiting class come in for football. Tony obviously has no issues with recruiting for baseball, and same thing with basketball. I hope Rick could get a couple, good athletes this coming year, but we'll see. But this whole NCAA thing definitely benefited Tennessee at its whole.
Yeah. Normal, I want to give you a chance to speak on the bootlickers on Twitter that, like just kneels at the feet of the NCAA. I will leave them nameless, but I saw
won't.
you. Okay, go ahead.
I'm assuming you're talking about Blue Blood Bias.
Yes.
I mean, he's lucky that he's not worth the amount that Nico could go after him for, because I mean, just absolutely just went out of thin air and threw a story out there about how this is all about Nico and this, that, and the other, and Nico won't play next year and all this stuff. But I mean, you got accounts like this that just throw out these random stories that they have nothing, no idea about, and just do it for views. And then not even that is that then he posts that the NCAA is cooked and Tennessee delivered and all this stuff, and saying how Tennessee's doing this and that. No, you already showed what you're talking about, and this kid's like the biggest Colorado fan there is, and he's saying he has nothing against Tennessee. Everybody's got something against Tennessee. If you're not a Tennessee fan, you do not like us, and it's just the way the cookie crumbles, I guess you could say. But that's only one of the bootlickers to talk about. But I mean, it's just crazy. Acting like a lawyer, trying to act like you know your stuff, but you have no idea what's actually going on.
It is engagement farming if I've ever seen it, especially when you want Tennessee to fail at first, and then you try to say, "Oh, the NCAA is cooked now." You're just looking for the engagement, so it's shameful. That's all there is to it.
Oh, he got burned, and he already said that he's taking the L on that post and all that stuff. But I mean, it's just the fact that everyone knows what you're doing. I mean, one of my good friends, NBA Young Vol. I mean, you got guys that go on, on threes posts, and they'll post a little meme. Hey, I do it, and it'll get 10, 20,000 views by just joking or whatever. And you got Blue Blood turned his dang replies off that post because he knew he was wrong. But it's people like that, and then they post replies, and then they mute the conversation so they don't get notifications on it.
Classic.
The classic, hey, you suck, mute.
It's ridiculous, man. But we'll hop off them for now until they run their mouth again. But I kind of want to hear your thoughts on how you think this matchup against Auburn is going to go on Wednesday night.
I said it before. I mean, nothing against Auburn. Auburn has been such a good basketball team this year. And, anything could happen in college basketball. I just think Tennessee is the better team. And we're at home. It's going to be a raucous crowd. But I just think that this game, just the way Auburn's been playing, but I mean, Georgia hung around with them pretty much all game and then ended up losing. But I think this game's going to be close. I think whoever wins is going to be, it's going to be like a 5 to 8 to maybe 10-point win. I just think as long as we don't go into that shooting slump where we don't score for the first 5 minutes, I think Tennessee wins this game, but it's going to be a close one. I think the benefit of the doubt of being home and having the crowd behind you, I think Tennessee wins this game, but I think it's going to be close, and it could always go either way, like I said. But that's how I feel about it. We'll see. Bruce Pearl coming back to Knoxville is going to be interesting too, so we'll see.
Yeah. The thing that Tennessee cannot do is, have 15 minutes like they did against A&M where they're just, rolling around in the mud with them. Because if you fall asleep for any length of time against Auburn, they're going to take advantage of it because they have the depth and they get up and down the court. So if the Vols can avoid, screwing around, like you said, if they can avoid the scoring drought, if they can avoid defensive lapses for long periods of time, I think they'll be fine. But it's like you said, I still think it's going to be a close game. Auburn is too good of a team to me and too deep for Tennessee to beat them by more than 10 points, really. So I think it's going to be a dogfight, but the being at home is probably the difference in this one. I think we've said it multiple times this year, but we are so fortunate that we do not have to go down there and play them in Auburn. So, because if it was in Auburn, I would probably say we lose by like 15 because of how electric that building is and how quickly the game can unravel if you're not ready for it down there. So,
yeah, we haven't really been playing well on the road other than, a couple games. So it would have been, something like that. But I think, you could tell, this team against, Texas A&M, it was the crowd. It got them, electrified, and they just started playing like they should be playing. And if Tennessee plays second half basketball like they did against A&M, I think Tennessee could beat a team like Auburn by 15, 20 points. Mm-hmm. And But Aidoo's going to have a tough matchup. He's got Broom coming in, but also you were talking about that Awaka and Aidoo lineup with DK. I mean, I feel like Awaka is the better defender against a guy like Broom. Having that strong, presence, I feel like that might be a good matchup, but we'll see. Rick knows what he's doing, and I think, they're gonna have a game plan, man, and they're gonna do their thing to stop whatever, Auburn does best. So it's gonna be interesting, though.
Yeah. What do you got for a score, Jim?
Oh God, I think, like I said, I think this is gonna be I won't say low scoring game, but it's definitely. I don't think it's gonna get to the 90s. I think this is like I think Vols end up winning this maybe like 81 to like 74, 73 type game.
Dude, I was going to say 81 to 72. So me and you are lockstep on this one. I totally agree. I think it's going to be less of a get up and down game. I think both teams are going to want to try to, go fast. But I think when both teams are trying to do that, you end up, looking like the middle school scrimmage at halftime of a varsity game sometimes with turnovers and shit. So I think it's going to be, in that range. But I do think the Vols come out on top simply stemming from that home court advantage. So
I agree. I mean, we got to hit our free throws too, man. I've harped on it already before, but free throws are going to be huge in this game. When you get to the line, you got to hit them. And Awaka's been doing great. DK, usually he'll miss his first two or first one. He'll go 1 for 2 and then he won't miss. But you got to just, settle down. DK can't be forcing the shots like he was in the first half against the Aggies. If DK plays calm, cool, and collective, the kid's unstoppable. But teams, that's what they've been doing, is trying to get him to just force shots up, get a couple misses, and that's what happens. He comes out in the second half, and they calm him down, and he just turns it up. He just needs to do that from the get-go in these games, and it's going to be no problem for the Vols. I think, all around this team's got the talent. We've talked about it. We beat this topic up. It's just they just got to go play well. They just got to play calm, and that's it. Take it one game at a time. You got 4 big games. I'll be happy if we win 3 out of 4, but the team could win all 4. That's why you're number 5 in the country. You can win these games. It's just, like I said, you just can't have those scoring droughts.
Yep, absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more with all those points. So, is there anything else you want to cover tonight before we sign off?
I don't think so. I think we're in for a treat of a week. Baseball plays on Tuesday. I think basketball plays on Tuesday, don't it?
Wednesday night. So we got baseball on Tuesday, basketball Wednesday, and then we got baseball weekend. So it's going to be a fun little series of sports for the Vols. But yeah, man, that's it. I think hopefully we could take this Auburn game and roll the momentum into Tuscaloosa. Yep. Sounds good, man. All right, man. Go Vols.
Go Vols, baby.